Hi, I'm Nigel the Shanghai Psychic. I can tune into your loved ones in the spirit world, but I can also tune into you, tell you about your path and the choices that you need to make and need to know. I'm currently giving 30% discount on all Tell Craig Your Story listeners. Just use the code Tell Craig Your Story for 30% off your first psychic reading with me online at Nigel the Shanghai Psychic.
Hi, this is Mark Hughes, and you're listening to Tell Craig Your Story podcast.
Hi guys, Craig here. Welcome to another edition of the podcast, Tell Craig Your Story. Today we'll be speaking to former NRL star Mark Hughes. Now Mark is most recognised for his 161 games playing for the Newcastle Knights. Now Mark was a part of the 97 grand final win against Manly, and he was also a part of the 2001 grand final win against Parramatta. He played 3 games for fullback for the New South Wales State of Origin team. Now, unfortunately, in 2013, Mark was diagnosed with brain cancer. But he got through that with a lot of hard work and with his friends and family. And in 2014, Mark established the Mark Hughes Foundation to raise awareness for the incidence of brain cancer internationally. Now, in 2016, the NRL jumped on board and announced a round for Beanie for brain cancer round. And that continues today, where the Mark Hughes Foundation has raised approximately $20 million for brain cancer research. Now, most recently, Mark is now the director and partner of Air Lockers Training at Katara. Now, Mark is a true inspiration. He's battled with cancer and he's got through it. And it's just a credit to him that he lives a positive lifestyle. But before we go, please go to our website. We're at Podbean. Tell Craig Your Story at podbean.com. We are on all the social medias. And we also have WeChat for our Chinese listeners and VK for our Russian listeners. At Tell Craig Your Story. And we also have a link tree there which tells you where Tell Craig Your Story podcast is streaming. We're on all the major streaming services. I'd also like to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Malvina Things. You can go to their website, www.malvinathings.com. All right, here we go. This is my chat with Mark Hughes on Tell Craig Your Story podcast. Hi Mark, how are you doing today?
Craig, I'm great, mate. Really nice to talk, and especially nice knowing that you're a Knights supporter, mate. That's great news.
Oh, mate, I'm a very proud Knights fan. I remember my dad sitting up on the hill when I was a little kid. So
good times. I mean, it's all changed now, the ground, and I guess for the better. But it was something special about the hills there. I know they're still on the end of each ground, and then there was the big, where the Andrew John stand is, having the big hill there. It used to be an amazing atmosphere there, that's for sure.
And the little scoreboard on the other side of the hill there as well. So it's all changed now. Yeah, thank you very much for your time. I know you're a busy man. So first off, I want to ask, like, with everybody, how are you dealing in the pandemic? Are you and your family staying safe? And what have you had to do to sort of adjust in this time?
Yeah, mate, like for all families and like everyone, it was a huge shock to the system when it all broke out, and very worrying and scary. And particularly with my health record and situation, I certainly didn't want to take any risks and find myself sick, and play tricks on with my immune system. So yeah, I particularly tucked myself out of the way and kept safe.
Yes.
Had our challenges with homeschooling and all that stuff, but we've come through the other side. Whilst obviously we're still on alert, I don't know. I feel like that there is light at the end of the tunnel with this.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope, like, with the summer being the warmer weather, then hopefully if we can get like a cure for this eventually, or like some sort of vaccine in the future. But I'm glad that you and your family are staying safe. Are you still living in Kurri Kurri, or have you ventured somewhere else?
Craig, so yeah, I'm born and bred in Kurri Kurri. I'm very grateful for that.
Yes.
But at the age of 20, I moved when sort of started to play first grade with the Knights. Had to move closer for training and all that stuff. So Kurri Kurri is about 45 minutes back then. There's a new road now, but it was about 45-minute drive to Newcastle, so it was just a bit far. And yeah, I still get out there all the time. Got family and friends there, of course. So.
Yeah, right. So growing up there, were like you and your father involved with the Kurri Kurri Bulldogs, or did you sort of pick it up yourself?
Yeah, look, my dad played cricket and rugby league and loved his sport, as I did.
Yes.
And in Kurri, we didn't have the beach and all that stuff. So a lot of what we did was sport, and of course it was way before this social media crazy stuff that's on. So I would race home from school, and it'd be straight on the footpath with kids in the street. We'd play footy. In the summer, we'd play cricket.
Yes.
And in the summer, I would play cricket. Saturday morning, I'd play grade cricket. Saturday afternoon, I'd play rep cricket a lot of Sundays. So I was right into my cricket, but I had a real love of rugby league.
Yes.
That was my true love of sport right from a young age.
So were
before the Knights were around, mate.
Yeah, were you sort of like a gifted player, or was it something that you had to sort of work at?
No, Craig, it was something I definitely had to work at. It was, I was fit, but I wasn't, by far, wasn't the strongest or quickest or biggest, all that stuff. So for me, I had a lot of struggles with rugby league, and I think it made me for all the better a player down the track. But as a young kid, I had to work really hard, and I loved it, and I trained really hard.
Yes.
And I wasn't making the rep teams and all that stuff, but I just continued to follow my path, and I think that's important for kids and people, is that don't compete against yourself and follow your own path, And the thing is, we all mature at different ages, and so don't try and compete with someone else. Just follow your path and stay on it, and eventually, if you're willing to live and breathe that and give it your best shot, you give yourself a really, really good chance of achieving whatever goal it is in life. You want to be a plumber, you want to be a doctor. Sport's one thing, but there's so many other things to aim for as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great advice too. I had something similar. I didn't have a growth spurt until later, where all the other guys in my team were making rep teams, with cricket, and I used to play baseball as well, and I was the little guy, and each year I tried, and they said, "No, I'm sorry, you're too small." So, that's definitely good advice.
Well, I think the big guy that has it really easy as a young kid, I think they struggle in later life when everyone catch up with them. So
that's right.
That's one way to look at it.
Absolutely. And, you started playing with the Kurri Kurri Bulldogs, part of the local competition. So it says here that you won the grand final in 1995. Do you have any recollection, good memories of that?
Oh, absolutely. It was a huge, growing up in Kurri Kurri, close-knit community.
Yes.
We loved our local footy team. And Kurri Kurri produced more internationals than any other club outside of the NRL club.
Yes.
So we've produced a lot. We've got a great history. And back then in the early 90s, Kurri Rugby League was thriving. And in 1993 and 94, Kurri had won 2 premierships in a row.
Wow.
Which I don't think it was 40 or 50 years since they won before that. Yeah, the town was buzzing, and I came into grade as an 18-year-old and got a couple of opportunities that year, my first year in grade, and found myself on the wing in the grand final against West Newcastle. Scored 2 tries, and we won the game. And it was just enormous, like having all my mum and dad and family and the local community. It was a huge thing to win 3 in a row. So that moment there really enabled me to get a trial at the Knights and sort of kick on from there.
Obviously, they would have had scouts there in 95 at the grand final.
Yeah, like it's a big, lots of people. It's lots of people at the game and all local people. And the 21s coach gave me a trial. He was actually from Kurri as well, so that helped. And got a trial at the Knights for the 96 season. And things started to happen pretty quickly after that.
Right. So what was it like joining the Knights? I mean, a Kurri boy, I'm assuming that you were a Knights fan growing up. What was that sort of like? Coming in?
Firstly, just on that, as a kid, I was a mad Parramatta supporter.
Oh, really? Right.
Until the Knights come in. I mean, and then the Knights come in, and a year or 2 into that, I was right into the Knights. But
yes.
That's the dream was to play for the Knights. To do that, to get into the 21s, I was quite excited, but I didn't feel like I'd made it. That's for sure. I just felt good that I was there, but I had bigger goals and ambitions, and I wanted to. But it did feel like I was at the back of a fairly long queue to get into first base. So physically, I wasn't that big. I hadn't done the weights that a lot of my teammates had done for the last 4 years, so I was behind the 8 ball in a lot of ways. But I'd been playing against men, and I was pretty appreciative and grateful that I took that track, because I think it toughened me up a little bit and got me ready for what was to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got your first... before that, there was like a huge talent there. Like there would have been like Darren Albert, Owen Craigie at that sort of time period, right? So...
there was a great crop of players. You had all around the same age. You had outside backs like you've mentioned, Adam McDougall, Darren Albert, Owen Craigie, Matt Gidley,
yes.
Brett Grogan was a few years older. A lot of talented players. So, it was really good. We had these real senior hardhead forwards and really good young backs with lots ahead of them. So it was an exciting time to be in the club.
Yeah, and it was that sort of period where it was starting to really, you're making, sort of getting close to the top 8, and then 97 come, and you actually made your debut in 97, right? Yeah,
so I had a year in 96 in 21s, and then I managed to get a trial for the Knights in 97.
Right.
So I got a trial for the reserve grade, and they accepted me after a bit and said, yep, you can have a year here. So I got another year there and played reserve grade, started playing quite well and got a few opportunities. Back then you'd play reserve grade, then you'd sit on the bench with 6 or 8 blokes and you might get picked to play first grade.
Yes.
So that was a different world. And then eventually, midway through the year, I got a start on the wing against the Roosters on a wet night at Newcastle. And once they got me in there, mate, they couldn't shake me. I just found a way to stay up there, and it was I couldn't believe I was playing first grade. And and I mean, 8 or 10 games later, I was holding up the the trophy as a premiership winner, so it was amazing.
Wow. And
Yeah.
just tell us about that. You'd only just come into the team, and same with Owen Craig, you only just come into the team yourself. And to be a part of that whole week in Newcastle, to be a Novocastrian that whole week was amazing. I can remember as if it was like I was a part of the team. So for you, what was that whole week like?
Well, mate, I think that was the good thing about it. I think the whole town felt a part of this and took ownership of it. And the you say a week, but I would call it probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks, which is the week leading into the game.
Yes.
The town was electric. And then to win and then to see the pandemonium that broke out after we won is something that you just won't forget. And so many people still come up and tell me where they were that day, and they know where they watched the game, and they remember going to the Workers' Club after it, and all that stuff. So they're memories that we'll never forget. And as a player, to be a part of that with that group of blokes is it's binded us for life, and I think it's something that we as a town are binded with for life because it's something that we'll never forget.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a moment. And I'll be a fanboy as well. I was at the Jets concert, at the Ticketek parade. And
that was a special memory. That was how good was that?
Yeah, it was great. I was in the front row there.
So
and
good.
Caught Andrew Johns, and it was such a
good... that the stage dive of Joey and Matty. Joey dived pretty high, but that was magical. That street parade, to go from Jesmond at Stockland in the back of a car all the way into town, the streets lined with people, going through Beaumont Street, moving around like it was, wow, I just wish you could, it'd be great to just sit in that car and do that again. That was a special time. And then to go to the big council into town there and have the presentation and just a sea of people, see what it meant to so many.
Yes.
That was just special time. Special time.
Absolutely. And Manly were the team that at that stage, they had an amazing team full of internationals. They only lost a couple of games that season. So, what was the sort of game plan to when you went down there? What was Mel really saying to you guys?
I think one of it was just about enjoying the week and we had some really fun guys in our team. Obviously, the Johns brothers come to mind. Robbie O'Davis was lively. Just a lot of fun people, and we just enjoyed it. And when you had hardheads like Tony Butterfield and Paul Harrigan, just inspirational leaders in the front row, leading you like big brothers, there was a real sense that we were going to do something special. And when the bus left on the Saturday afternoon from the stadium, Chief stood up on the bus and, there was people everywhere on the streets. And he said, this is more than a game. We're not losing this, boys. We're going to come home with the win. And I think we felt special then that something was really brewing.
Yeah. And where were you when the Darren Albert try? Were you on the other side of the wing, or were you on that side?
No, absolutely. I was on the same side with Albie. So
right.
I'm the bloke that Andrew Johns dummied to and gave it inside to Darren Albert.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So I still am filthy that Joey didn't give me the ball. I could have scored.
Yes.
But wow, that was just an amazing moment. And, to see Albie racing around under the post, like slow motion, everyone running in, and I've seen replays of it, and it never gets old.
Still see it,
surreal.
On replays and all that.
Yeah, just it pans to the bench, and to see all our bench, see the crowd
hugging, and
I just remember it's like a surreal moment, and you're just running in going, wow, we've won the grand final. And because to be fair, for 78 minutes of the game we were behind pretty much, and we were just battling away, staying in the game. So just amazing.
Well, you can definitely see who wanted it more, and you just I watched it again. It was on Foxtel, and you guys were just bashing them, hitting them really, really hard, and just weren't letting up, like not giving them a sort of like a chance to sort of get a bit of a roll on. So I love that, and it's still to this day the Knights are always sort of. That's why they keep coming back all the time. And the crowds, they know that win, lose or draw, they're always going to have they're always going to be in the fight. So that's what I like about the Knights. And then we move forward, a new coach after that. And then you get into another good couple of years. And then another grand final, 2001. Another great achievement, but this year it was actually Parramatta that had only lost 2 or 3 games that year. Michael Hagan, new coach. So what did he sort of bring to the club?
From the years of 97 to 2001, realistically every year we had a genuine chance of winning the comp.
Yes.
And in 2000, in 99 and 2000, Warren Ryan had us. And
yes,
the WOC taught us a lot of technical stuff about rugby league. He just knew it all, and he laid a lot of good groundwork for us. And
yes.
In 2000, we were leading 18-0 in the to go into the grand final at half time. We got beat by the Roosters.
Roosters, yes.
So we were, and we had a wonderful team in 2000. So 2001, we lost a couple of senior players, particularly Dave Fairley and Matt Johns. Tony Barfield. So there was a bit of a younger team for 2001, but it just all came together, and Parramatta had a wonderful season. They were on top of their game, but when I look at the players we had in our team, particularly, guys like Steve Simpson, Ben Kennedy in the forward,
BK,
great clubmen like Billy Peden.
Yes.
We had Matt Parsons in the front row. What a player he was for us. Young Josh Perry in the front row. Danny Badiris at hooker. He was about to launch his rep career.
Yes.
So we're stacked full of great players. Tamana Tahu, Dukes,
Gidley,
Gids,
yes.
Davis. So we had a really great team. So I look back on it and I think, you know what, we had a great team. So it's little wonder we won. And Andrew Johns and the forwards turned it on in the first half, and we came off leading 24-0, and never, Parra to their credit, they kept going at us, but really, we're never going to win.
Who would have thought that, before the game, that you were going to better be winning 24-0 at half time? It was just amazing. And for Billy Peden too, I know you've had a lot to do with him, after the Knights as well.
Sure.
For him to score all those tries as well, was so good to see. And even still, 2001, that State of Origin as well.
Yeah.
So what a season!
Look, I played mostly centre. I played a mixture of centre and fullback at the Knights, and I really enjoyed both positions and did quite well at both. And there was a stage there in 2001 where I was playing fullback, and it was around Origin time, and I was playing some good footy, and Andrew Johns tipped me off that he said, "Mate, you're a massive chance for selection tomorrow."
Yeah, right.
And I thought, Joey's known for the odd porky pie. I didn't know what was going on, but he was right. And the next day I got selected. And wow, what an experience! That was in my dreams, but far out, it felt like a tough dream to achieve. But I got there, played 3 games. It was 1-1 going into the last game, and they brought Alan Langer back. Queensland got us in the 3rd game. But, I'm proud, really proud to have worn a blue jersey. I certainly gave it my best shot, and, it certainly was a wonderful year.
Yeah, that's right. And, they all talk about the speed of the game and State of Origin, comparing that to, a normal NRL game. Yeah,
so quick. You look up and the scoreboard says, 10 minutes till half time. Wow, where'd that time go?
Yes.
So, it's quick and it's tough and, it's everything that you see. I would say it's the toughest footy you can play. So it's nice to have been a small part of that, and
absolutely.
Certainly something I look back on quite very proud.
Definitely. And it says here that you played with the Knights until 2005, and then you went to the Catalan Dragons in the Super League.
Yes. So the last couple of years of my career at the Knights, I did suffer a few injuries, so
Yes.
I didn't get as much time on the field. And look, to be fair, the first 100 games I played, I don't think I missed about 2 or 3 games, so I had a really good
Right.
run. But towards the end, it caught up with me a little bit, and it was time to sort of just have a bit of a change before I moved on to life after footy, and was exciting to go to Catalan Dragons in France to play in the English Super League, and really enjoyed that. Great experience. Language barrier was tough a little bit at times, but certainly a really good experience, and I really enjoyed my time there.
Yeah. And how is your French, by the way? Now?
No, not very good, mate. So, I'm not going to be a French teacher anytime soon.
Right. And excuse me if I'm offensive or anything, but how did you get the nickname of Boozy?
Yeah, that nickname stuck. I think it was 97 in the celebrations. I was sort of sticking around and just enjoying it, and I didn't want to miss anything. So I was in and around that, and one of the boys just sort of changed the. It's not Hughes here, it's Boozy, and it sort of stuck from there. And that nickname followed me everywhere. In the newspapers, on the telly, that was everywhere. So I was one of them things. I enjoyed a good time like everyone, and that sort of just rhymed with Husey, and that's sort of what I got stuck with. And look, these days I try not to get called that too often. I've got a charity and things going on, but there's still a few of my old mates that refuse to call me nothing but Boozy. So
that's right.
That's all right.
And speaking of your career, like you said, you played fullback, centre, and wing. Did you have like a preference on where you wanted to play?
Oh, gee, I get asked that a bit, but I had some really great success in both spots, and fullback led me to New South Wales.
Yes.
Centres, I had some really good footy in the centres, so I'm really grateful that I got the opportunity to play, a lot of both.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Interesting. So then you come back to Newcastle, and here's the tragic 2013. You had no symptoms, you had no signs, you felt physically good, but you went in for a check. So tell us a little bit about this. This is after your career.
Things were going along really well. I was 36 years of age at the time and had 3 children under the age of 10. And I had headaches for 2 days. Went in and saw my doctor, and he sent me for a scan. And, from that moment on, my life had changed. I had a brain tumour, size of a small avocado, and
wow.
I had to get up to John Hunter Hospital and get that removed as soon as possible. So that was a crazy time. I had the surgery, got it removed. Then I started radiation, chemotherapy. Had to do radiation down on the Central Coast, so I had a lot of my old teammates and family and friends drive me down every day because I couldn't drive, and we did that. I did training with Ben Kennedy during my radiation, so I'd do radiation in the morning, and in the afternoons I'd be doing swimming and running, and just to try and get fit and just to give myself every chance. So, life had changed. Did radiation, did chemotherapy, and suddenly become this brain cancer patient. Yeah.
And then of looking at some of the statistics of brain cancer, it's just amazing how nobody sort of has taken recognition of it at that time. Yeah,
dreadful disease. No cure. Kills more people 40 years and under than any other disease. Kills more children 10 under than any other disease. So horrendous. The stats are dreadful. And I really, up until the Mark Hughes Foundation was formed, there wasn't much talk about it out there. So we sort of saw this, me and my wife Kurri, and we decided we needed to do something about it. And that's right at the start was where the Mark Hughes Foundation was formed.
Wow. And, we can look at it now in 2020 and see how much it's helped so many people. But, was it difficult to start this foundation right at the start?
Yeah, a lot of work went into it, Craig, and my wife Kirli drove that, and she was just amazing. And I had lots of good friends, Paul Harrigan,
yes,
in particular, was very close and helping, and lots of other friends, the Badiris family and lots of other. So I had a lot of good help, a lot of mates, a lot of family, and we got there, we got it started, and pretty quickly momentum started to build. And during my rehab, I wore a beanie quite a lot. So I just thought that beanies and brain cancer had a real good ring to it, and that's how that was sort of born.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so established in 2014, and ever since that, I've got a stat here that said that is it $20 million that you've raised since the start of it?
Since then, that's what's happened. It's been absolutely amazing.
Wow.
The support out there, the research we now get done, our brain cancer nurses across Newcastle and regional New South Wales that are helping brain cancer patients and their families. So much has been done since then. And I went to our scientific committee meeting last week, and our scientists are very excited and can't believe the change in landscape for brain cancer since when we started. And we're all very excited. And you know what? We want a cure for brain cancer. That's what I need, and that's what so many other people out there require. So that's what we're working towards.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. And in 2016, the start of the Beanie for Brain Cancer round as well. This is sorry, mate. Yeah, that took the Mark Hughes Foundation to another level. When the NRL got behind us, mate, it was enormous, and it wasn't just it was everyone got involved. The media, the players, the referees, officials, most importantly, the fans. Everyone just wanted to get our beanies and support the round, and it just keeps going from strength to strength. And we couldn't have done it without the massive help of the NRL and the rugby league community, or the community in general. Right across New South Wales and Queensland in particular, there's an enormous amount of support for the Mark Hughes Foundation. Yeah, absolutely. It's national wide, and it's going international as well. It's almost like look at the schedule for next year, and it's like, when's the Mark Hughes, the beanie round? So you're always looking for it as well. So, and it's also like the pink day for like the Test match, the Glen McGrath. So it's also got to that status. So. That's an amazing achievement, Mark. Well done.
No, well, I couldn't do it without the people that buy a beanie. Just simply by buying a beanie makes such a huge difference.
Yes. There was a horse that won, and he was like a sponsor of the foundation as well.
That happened on the weekend. It was called Ice Bath.
Ice Bath, that's the one. Sorry.
And now every horse... in that race on the weekend, the Golden Eagle, Racing New South Wales, put on that 10% of the winnings for each horse, whatever the horse wins, goes to the charity. And thankfully for us, the connections of Ice Bath chose the Mark Hughes Foundation.
Yeah, right.
And they come second, and the Mark Hughes Foundation got $150,000. And you know what the great thing was? So many other charities benefited on the day as well. It was really a really great initiative from Racing New South Wales.
That's so cool. And I just want to get off topic a little bit. Actually, speaking of the foundation, you've actually been to Mount Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
And Mount Everest, I do believe, as well.
My former teammates Billy Peden and Paul Harrigan came up with the concept of doing challenges to raise money. So we started with going over and doing Kokoda, which was amazing. There was 19 of us did Kokoda. Then we went and did Base Camp Mount Everest. There was about 30 of us. A lot of players on that one. We had Steve Menzies and Matty Johns and Matt and Kirk Gidley. Danny Badiris came, Russell Richardson. We had a really good crew of people for that one, Mount Everest. And then we had a place called Borneo, did the Borneo Death March with about 35 people.
Yes.
And then last year, Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa, the highest freestanding mountain in the world. Trent Robinson, the Roosters coach, joined us. He was absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And my great mate Adam McDougall and the Manshake, they get behind us. They put 100,000 into that one, and we raised 700,000. And the Manshake have put in over 500,000 towards the Mark Hughes Foundation, which is just amazing.
Yeah, so much support. It's so good. The rugby league community is just
so good.
And like I've also read and I've seen that how difficult it is to climb up these mountains. Like you need that sort of strength to get up there. Do you have a story about that?
Well, I'll say this: you get in that team environment and you push each other and you get your mate up there. And I know Mount Kilimanjaro, when we're reaching the top, Danny Badiris was doing it really tough. He was sick at altitude and felt minus 15, minus 20. We had to leave at midnight to walk up the top. Got up there about 10 a.m. on the last day. It's about 10 days on the track. And, he was doing it tough, but we got each other there and got him there and, he achieved it. And you do great things on the field, but some of these memories and achievements that we've done on these Mark Hughes Foundation treks will live with us forever. And to have close footy mates, close mates, general people that I'd never met that are now close mates, it's been a special part of what the foundation has done.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you're doing at the moment is a new venture. You are now the director and partner of a new company called Airlocker. So can you tell us a little bit about this, how you got to be involved with this company and the future for this company?
Yeah, so leading into Mount Kilimanjaro, I wanted to train, and I heard about a new altitude gym opening in Newcastle. So I looked into it and I started going there. And it's like group training, but the room's set at altitude. So it's like being 3,200 metres above sea level. And there's all these benefits of training in altitude, particularly burning more calories is probably a good one. You don't have to quite train as hard, but you get bigger results. So all the trekkers that were going, they started doing it with me at Airlocker, and we all started to love the training. And I got to know the founder and became a partner in the business. I loved it that much, and that's sort of what I'm doing. And I'm actually opening one up myself in Qatar, which is very exciting. Yeah, in Newcastle. That'll happen in about a month. And we're actually talking to lots of partners right around Australia that are really keen to give this a go. So, Airlocker training, it's a different way to train, but it's for everyone, and people love it. So I really recommend people looking us up and checking it out.
Absolutely. And the one in Qatar, it's like right on the main road, North Coast Drive, right?
Yeah, right there, right near Clark Rubber there, and we're really excited, my wife Kirli and I, and I only do things that make me feel good and make me happy these days. When you've been in my position, you certainly look at things different, and this does that, and it makes people better and makes people feel better. So I'm certainly looking forward to getting our little Qatar Airlocker community in action, and feeling great. I know all my ex-teammates will be coming. They love it, so it'd be good.
Yes. And speaking of that, Mark, let's get close to wrapping it up here. What does the future hold for Mark Hughes?
Well, I've got a scan on Tuesday. I get scans every 4 months, so things are going wonderfully well there. But that's just the life that I have now.
Yes.
So I've got to keep healthy, keep fit. I've got 3 children, wonderful wife, great friends and family. So I just enjoy them. Make today count. Can't change what's happened, but can certainly sort of be positive and make today and tomorrow a great day, and that's sort of the way I try and live. Still involved with the Knights, which I love, just on game days and things like that. Maintain close relationships and that with a lot of my former teammates, and living the best life I can.
Yeah, that's a great answer, and well done. And let's talk about your social medias and anything that you want to promote again.
People can on Instagram. I'm not great at this stuff, but I just started Mark Hughes 2020 on Instagram, or you can follow the Katara Air Locker Training. You follow us a bit there, but most importantly, you got the Mark Hughes Foundation on Instagram and Facebook. Please follow us because we need support until we get an answer to brain cancer and stop it ripping apart families and people. We won't be stopping. So we need your help. We need your support. We've got a mad Christmas raffle, over $20,000 worth of prizes for a $10 ticket. So jump on the Mark Hughes Foundation website for details, and we'd love your support.
Absolutely. Great cause again. All right, Mark, to finish off, I just asked just a couple of questions, and you just give me like your first answer. It'll be the top 2 or 3 things. All right. Are you ready, Mark?
Yep.
All right. So speaking of music, who are your top 3 favourite artists?
Yeah, Newcastle boys. I don't mind listening to Silverchair. I don't mind a bit of Jimmy Barnes. I like easy listening music. I like a bit of everything, but I'll give you 2 there.
Yeah.
That might be about it.
Not a problem. A very proud Newcastle boy.
Yeah.
In terms of movies, what are your top 2 or 3 favourite movies?
As a kid, I used to like the Rocky movies. These days, I like a good comedy. We like Netflix at home, which a lot of Netflix.
Nice. Who is, some of the best players that you've played against in rugby league?
Oh, there's so many wonderful players, but I sort of think of lucky enough to play against, towards the end of his career, Laurie Daly,
Right.
Brad Fittler, the toughness of Gordon Tallis, blokes like Wendell Saylor on the wing. There's just so many good players, so very grateful to have played against lots of good players.
And you said that you supported Parramatta in younger. So who were some of your favourite players growing up?
Yeah, Brett Kenny and Peter Sterling, I think, were my standout players as a kid, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And last one, who is your biggest hero / inspiration?
I think these days, I just look up to anyone that gives back and makes a difference for the right reasons. So I think just anyone that's out there doing their best and willing to help others, and not just for money. People that are willing to get help and make a difference, and not just worrying about their pocket.
Absolutely, that's a great answer. All right, Mark. Again, thank you very much for your time. True inspiration. Keep continuing what you're doing with the Mark Hughes Foundation. You're helping a lot of people, and you're making a lot of people very, very happy, and all the best for the future.
Craig, thanks, mate. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Tony Fair, founder of Victorian Grooming Company. Is your beard feeling dry or the skin underneath itchy? Maybe you'd rather soften and tame your beard instead. Our classic collection of beard oils, balms, and soaps will leave your beard looking, feeling, and smelling amazing. And if you prefer shaving, our pre-shave oils and shave soaps will give you a smooth and razor burn-free shave. Handmade in Edmonton with natural ingredients, visit victoriangrooming.com.